Hey guys, what's up feasters? It's me, Blanche, with Feast in the Middle East, and I am just chilling in my office right now with my big old coffee mug, and look at how big this thing is. I just love it. So I just thought I would respond to a lot of emails and messages because a lot of you really liked a previous video I did on what to expect when going to a Middle Eastern home. A lot of you want to know the reverse, how to entertain Middle Eastern people in your home, because you have significant others that are from the Middle East and you want to entertain their families and you want to make a good impression. So I have compiled 7 key things to help you entertain Middle Eastern people. Now, you don't need to do all of these things, but if you do 1 or 2 at least, I think you would make a really good impression. So are you ready? Let's get started. As you will see throughout this video, the running theme is do not just ask, do. Take action, don't ask. Starting with drinks. So when they first come to your house, you can ask them, would you like anything to drink, but have something ready. So a platter of lemonade is pretty non-confrontational. Not too many people have allergies to lemonade. It's one of the most popular drinks of the Middle East. So if you had some nice tall glasses of cool lemonade, I'm sure they would appreciate it. If you want to start with hard liquor, like usually the men do like hard liquor, you could always offer some Johnnie Walker. Some Johnnie Walker, probably plain or sometimes on the rocks, but Johnnie Walker is the drink of choice. And if they say no thank you, always offer water. It's really a no-brainer. You just want to start them with something to drink from the get-go to make them feel at home. Okay, so number 2, nuts. Now, don't you love it when you eat a snack that sort of challenges you? I think one reason why Cheetos are so popular is they get your fingers all coated with that orange stuff and people like licking their fingers, and you know, it's just kind of an interactive kind of snack, so to speak. So nuts are kind of like pistachios and pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. So nuts and seeds are really great for snacking because there's an activity. So you're not just sitting there mindlessly eating. The guest gets to, you know, use their hands and they're crunching, and it just kind of breaks the ice for the guest. And let me give you some tips. So Fustuk 101, if you see these old men that have their teeth, they're all like jacked up, it's because of like 65 years of breaking pumpkin seeds in the front of their teeth, because that's what they enjoy doing. So pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, pistachios, anything that requires opening a seed or a nut is always a big hit. So have several bowls of those around, and that way the guests can snack on that. If you want to go a little bit more elaborate, you could also have a hummus plate with some veggies, and I do have a great easy hummus video on my channel that you could look up with like 5 ingredients that you could get mostly from your pantry. So hummus with some veggies and some pita bread's great. Also, if you want a cheese plate and crackers, but keep it simple, especially if you're going to be serving lunch or dinner, because you don't want to get them too stuffed, but those are good starter points. So number 3, you got the drinks down, you've got the nuts down, now you want to serve them lunch or dinner. So when you do that, keep it simple. Do it buffet style. Fill up a table full of food. The more food, the better. You want to have more than 1 entree, even possibly more than 2 entrees with lots of sides to cover a table full of food, to look like you've spent some time and that you're generous and you're really happy that they're there. And this is not Weight Watchers, people. So do not be portioning out the food in 3-ounce sizes. Like, oh, she's gonna want 3 ounces of chicken and fish, and no. You just leave it like that, let them serve themselves, and put seconds on their plate when their plate is clean. Yeah, whether they like it or not, just put seconds on their plate. They're used to that. If you don't do that, even if they're full, they're gonna think that you're stingy or you just don't really like them too much. So food is love, love is food. Embrace the food, fill up the food. Don't be a security guard standing at the table watching the food to see who eats what. You just want to kind of back off, put the food there, back off, pretend like you're doing your thing, you know, and you are more than happy to have them share in your feast with you. By this time, the guests should be so stuffed that like their pants are totally gonna rip at the seams. But that's okay, because maybe you don't have too much dessert on hand. It's really not a big deal if you don't have that much dessert. I mean, dessert is not a really big thing in the Middle East unless there's a huge party or a wedding in which you'll see baklava and kanafa and all that good stuff. But if you do want to impress them and add that extra touch, you could have a plate of fruit, some nice fresh fruit, or you can buy something like baklava if you don't have time to bake, or you could even go the extra mile and make them a handmade dessert. I have a few dessert recipes on my page, like mutabbak, which is a pastry phyllo dough with cheese and a sugar syrup, or there's my lemon Lebanon cheesecake, which is a really light, nice cheesecake made with kefir cheese. You can check it out in my dessert section. But if you do, have that ready with some coffee. Now, here's the thing about coffee, which leads me to the next tip. Coffee right here. You can serve them really strong Arabic Turkish style coffee like this. And do not be offended if they take your coffee after they drink it and they turn it upside down and start telling you your fortune. They really get a kick out of doing that. Some of the older ladies do. And usually the fortunes are the same. If you are single, there's a ring under the cup, which means you're gonna get married. If you are a traveler or travel a lot for work, they'll tell you, oh, you have a trip coming up. I see an airplane in here. Or they'll say, you have good news coming up, or you have money in your future. Stuff like that, pretty generic, vague stuff usually. It's nothing mind-blowing. So these are really fun because they're a conversation piece, and they keep the night going. Now here's an important message to you. Do not serve the coffee too early. If you serve the coffee too early, you're basically kicking them out of your house, unless they're coming over strictly for coffee and dessert. If they're coming over strictly for coffee and dessert, it's called ahwat ahlan wa sahlan, which means welcoming coffee. That's totally fine and normal. But if you're serving coffee at the end of their visit, don't serve it right away, because you're basically telling them, you just came over, I want to get you out of my house right away, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to make them feel welcome, and so bring out that coffee maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes after dinner is served. Or even later if you really want the night to last longer. Okay, so now time for my final tip. In order to make the guests feel as much at home as possible, please don't start talking about how you need to get up early the next morning to go to work. Don't talk about it. Make sure if work is an issue, try to schedule your dinner so that there's nothing happening the next day if sleep is really that important. If you start talking about when you have to be, where you have to be the next day early morning, or you start looking at your watch, or you start checking your emails, or answering phones and talking to other people while they're there, I think in general in any culture that's kind of rude to do that to a guest. You want to make them feel like they are the special ones in your house. Your attention and focus should be 100% on them and on making them feel good. And unless you really do want to get rid of them, now if they've gotten on your nerves and you want to make things go by a lot faster because you just don't want to see them anymore, then by all means, go check your email, go talk on the phone, go talk about how early you have to get up the next morning. If you decided at that particular moment that you never want to see them again, that's a really easy way to get rid of them, but it's not so nice. And you want to not only say goodbye at the door, you want to walk them to their car. And this procession of walking to the car actually can take another half an hour. So you might be talking and saying, oh, it was great to see you, thank you for coming over, and then they'll start opening a conversation about something else, like, oh, tell your sister, your brother we said hi and hope everything's okay, and you're supposed to tell them, hope to see you again, ahlan wa sahlan, tawlush alayna, don't take too long before you come back, basically. And so it's just this kind of meandering back and forth as you walk them to your car and wave goodbye to them. And even if you hate them and you don't like them, in my culture, you still tell them ahlan wa sahlan anytime, like you're welcome anytime, even if you can't stand them. I don't know, it's really hard to do that. That's kind of something that's really hard for me as an American to wrap my head around, even after all these years. But it's good, it promotes civility, humanity, and it makes you feel better about yourself in the end. So, if you have any questions or concerns about what I just said, just leave them in the comment section below. If you want me to do more videos on Middle Eastern culture in general, whether it has to do with dating or, I don't know, beauty, whatever it is, if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to do another video, but I really feed off of your comments. And I did this video because of your comments. So just leave them below, subscribe to my channel, and join me on social media, Instagram and Twitter at Blanche Media, or on Facebook at Blanche's Feast in the Middle East. I would also like to put up another cooking video real soon, but I feel like everyone is so wound up about these elections. Nobody's really happy and in a mood to cook. So if you'd like me to post a video before the elections, let me know. Or if you want me to wait after the elections, after you've torn out all your hair and decided whether you want to flee the country or not, let me know too, okay? It was nice talking to you all. I'm going to continue with my big coffee. Sahtan, ahlan wa sahlan. Love you all. Thank you for your support. I feed off of it, and I'm just so grateful for you all in this ever-changing and crazy world.